Welcome back to Grit Gym Live, Rise Coffee Live. Rachel's here. Rise Coffee, Rachel's Coffee Shop is going up at some point here, but Rise Coffee is here. If you want to follow them on Instagram, it's at Rise Coffee Cafe.
Yeah.
What is it?
Well, Rise Coffee Cafe.
They're gonna be able to hear it.
Rise Coffee Cafe. Yes.
Remember, yeah. So Rise Coffee Cafe on Facebook and on Instagram. If you guys want to go over there, I'll tag Rachel in the headline here in a little bit. But today we're talking about nutrition stuff. Rachel comes on the show every Tuesday because you guys requested that she come back on the show. She's got a bunch of notes. What do you got?
Just a bunch of things I wrote down.
Just a bunch of things you wrote down. We got new signs up in the background. Are you going to be all in, or are you going to be afraid that you're not enough? And then the other sign is work hard to improve every day, focus on the present priority, and be a positive influence to those around you. With everything that's going on in the world right now, I do think that these signs came in at about the best time they possibly could. There's some really nasty things. The world, I do think, is in a little bit of a new spiritual realm, I'll call it, like a emotional level that we've never been before. I think that we've established a hierarchy of needs where survival is basically met. We have food, we have shelter, we have all this stuff. Now we're up in this more emotional level. And I don't think people really know what to do. And why would you know how to do this? We've never navigated this before on a grand scale. And then you've got a bunch of this other junk going on in the world. It's just it's a really sad time is what it is. It's sad that somebody would go through with this. It's sad that somebody would want to do this. It's sad that those things happen. It's sad that there were victims in the scenario. And I'm talking about the Las Vegas deal. It's just such a terrible, terrible tragedy. But what we're trying to put out is a way that you can navigate your own mind. So you ask yourself those two questions every day. Are you going to be all in today? Are you going to love you today? Are you going to choose you today? What?
I'm
kind of in the way
of the sign.
Yeah. Are you going to be all in today? Are you going to love you today? Are you going to choose you today? Or are you going to be afraid that you're not enough today? And I think this is something that can really heal a lot of people, can let them get clear with who they are. And the further you go with it, the better everything gets. We're both kind of going through that. We have been putting ourselves through this for a few years now, asking ourselves these two questions every morning, right?
Yeah.
Not always easy, is it?
No.
What have you found with it?
I don't know. It's just holding yourself accountable, and the reminder is not always something that you would. I don't know. Just it's a good way to wake up in the morning.
It's a good way to wake up in the morning.
Positive out there first thing kind of helps with keeping your mind on the right track. Some people wake up pissed off. And how does that end up for them?
That is one of the things.
It's not a good way to start.
Somebody in this room right now wakes up with a smile on her face every day, and I'm always like, "How you do that?" Like, I'm like so tired. I can't form a smile right now. Like, that's insane. And she's like, "Well, I got two choices." Remember saying that?
Yeah.
You got two choices. I can be miserable when I wake up, or I can be happy when I wake up.
It's a lot easier to be happy when you have a smile on your face.
It's a lot easier to be happy when you have a smile on your face. But yeah, we wanted to put these signs up so that people could have an idea. Like the intentions on this side over here. I don't know if that's right or left. Everything's mirrored on different social media sites, but the work hard to improve every day. No matter what you do, working hard is going to get you somewhere to a good place. Like you can, like, even if you have a poor strategy, working hard is still better. Like, you still have to have the hard work, right? And then you can always improve from wherever you are. Wherever you are, you can improve. What do you keep going about?
I don't know. Nothing.
You have to improve from wherever you are, and then focusing on the present priority is huge. Like, right here, right now, this is the only thing that exists in our world. So this is the most important thing in my world. Nothing else really exists right now. So, like, Grit Gym doesn't exist right now. Rachel exists, you guys exist. This is the only thing that exists. This is the current priority, so I have to be right here, all in, right here, right now. So think about that. If you're at work, you're all at work. If you're with your kids, you're all with your kids. And then the last one, be a positive influence. When you are a positive influence, you like employ people into like being your support and to pushing you to new heights. If you're a negative influence on those around you, you're pushing away all the people that could have helped you, and you're gaining all the people that are going to keep you down by them where it's common. So something to think about there. Those are the 3 intentions that we want to set every single day. So you ask yourself the 2 questions, and then you answer the 3 intentions. Yep.
And wake up with a smile.
It makes it a lot easier. So what do you have for fad diets? Because that's what we're talking about today. We're talking about nutrition. We talked a little bit about the spiritual side of stuff. I just wanted to lay that out real quick and be done with it. But
so basically, I'm asking you about fad diets, if they're good or bad, or how can you tell if it's a fad diet? What are signs that you can look for?
How do you read through the bullshit?
Yeah. Well, a lot of stuff.
My specialty.
Some of it's okay. Some of it's has
that's the thing.
Points to it that are worth looking into.
Yeah. One of my football coaches in college used to say, it's never as bad as it seems, or it's rarely as bad as it seems, and it's rarely as good as it seems. And he would say that after every game, whether we won big or whether we lost by a little bit. He would say that every time. He was pissed that we lost, but he'd be like, you guys will see on films. Like, all you guys are just as mad as I am, or upset as I am, but it's rarely as bad as it seems. It's rarely as good as it seems. And then we get reamed out on film, which is always fun.
Okay. So is that in everything, or is it?
I think it's in everything. Yeah. You take the vegan diet. I make fun of the vegan diet pretty often. I think a lot of it's completely ridiculous, but only from the standpoint of anti-animal talk. The anti-animal consumption talk, I think, is ridiculous. You're going to cut an onion in half and be okay with it. You're going to be okay with taking an onion's life, but you're not going to be okay with taking a cow's life. I don't get the difference. Like, both of us metabolize sugar the same way. We're all cells. We're living creatures. Plants feel pain.
You can't just not eat.
That's what I mean. Like, you take a life to sustain a life. Like, that's part of the whole circle of things.
Choice.
So I'm all for it. I'm supportive of their moral. But
doing it for nutrition.
When you talk about anti-animal stuff from a health perspective, you lose me. But from eating a ton of fruits and vegetables, genius. Yeah, do it, please, go for it. I think you should. Vegan diet, yay. But as soon as the anti-animal stuff starts, from a health perspective, that's really silly.
Well, you have to be more creative when you're making food too.
Yeah,
otherwise, you're not going to be able to maintain.
On this shelf right here behind you, there's multiple vegan cookbooks, just because.
You can always add protein to vegan food.
Yeah, you can always add protein. You just add meat, right?
Yeah. I think that's what they want. But,
So some of this show is about getting on the same page as your spouse. So
we're not spouses, though.
That's okay.
Yeah. Getting on the same page.
Spouse is what? Is spouse like wife and husband?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you like being together, what's the difference?
I don't know. It's a different subject.
That's a different subject. But how do you get on the same page as your significant other? And in terms of health, because your significant other comes home with a fad diet, wants you to do it with them. Should you do it with them?
I think you should maybe explore what you're about to get into.
I agree.
And say, is it, first of all, doable? Is it going to be beneficial to both of you?
Yeah.
Because you're 2 different body types.
Yeah.
Obviously, you and I are.
Uh-huh.
Is it worth it? Like, the pros and cons?
Yeah.
So, a lot of them are not worth it because they're basically just depriving yourself.
Yeah, and are you going to be supportive?
Yeah. And how long are you going to be doing it for?
Yeah, I totally agree.
Everything?
Because you got to figure out, like,
lifestyle.
You probably want to try to be, like, it's ridiculous to not be supportive of your significant other's nutritional choices.
What is one person going to, like, bitch out for? Is what I meant. That's what I meant. Are you going to be the detriment of them ending their diet or whatever it is?
What do you mean?
Bad diet. Like, say they're like, oh, we're going to do this for a month. We're going to write it out to the end of the month. And one of them bitches out 3 weeks in.
I love that you're the one that's saying bitches out.
So are you going to support them in that last week? Or are you going to be like, oh, well, that's stupid. Like, I can't believe you're still doing that. Because I've seen that too. Because I've done it with, like, those girls that I did that thing with.
Yeah, you did the...
They turn it around on me and be like, oh, I can't believe you're still doing that. Well, like, they don't want to see me succeed in it. So I basically talked myself out of it.
That's that negative influence thing.
Exactly.
When you get around a bunch of people who are the naysayers,
I was doing fine until someone put it into my head, like, "Oh yeah, you can eat that. You can eat that."
Yeah.
Like, okay.
It's so hard not to do that in that moment.
I pissed at myself and you.
Because you're either going to keep each other down or you're going to lift each other up. Like it's really hard to just maintain. There's always a result one way or the other.
Yeah, I mean, there's always cheating or whatever, but.
Cheating on your meals.
Cheating on your meals, cheating on your...
But that should be within reason.
Yeah, I know. Like, you can't expect yourself to, whatever you call it, like the peanut butter cup diet.
Oh,
you can't expect to be satisfied every day for 2 weeks just eating.
You want to tell them about the peanut butter cup diet?
He told me about this peanut butter cup diet that this girl did. She lost a lot of weight because she only ate peanut butter cups. And I was like, well, no wonder. She probably wasn't eating as much as she usually does.
Yeah.
She's only eating certain things, but her body is probably dying for some sort of nutrition.
Yeah. What happened was, this is like 10 years ago, but this girl found out what I did, and she started asking me all these questions about why this worked. She was so intrigued at why this worked. Why did it work?
She thought she had discovered something.
Yeah. Why did it
okay.
The peanut butter cups Reese's peanut butter cups aren't good for you. Why did it work that I lost all this weight? And it's like, well, so what she did, all she did for 2 weeks was eat peanut butter cups. Literally, that's all she ate.
That's actually pretty impressive that she was able to maintain that.
Disgusting.
It does sound disgusting.
That sounds so gross. Nothing wrong with peanut butter cups. Just like that's a lot of.
But it's like probably something she enjoyed, and she's like, "Oh yeah, this is all I'm gonna eat."
But if that's all you ate, so. One of the things and you're going to notice this as we get into more of the fad diet stuff here, like all of them that are successful all work on the same exact strategy, and it's to lower caloric intake. Vegan diet, you take away a protein group. Whole30, you take away sugar and carbohydrates. Low carb, you take away
Atkins,
you take away protein. High protein diet, Atkins, you take away carbs. High protein diet, you take away carbs. Low fat diet, you take away fat. You take away an entire macronutrient group and you lower your overall caloric intake. The starvation diet, how do you think that works? You lower caloric diet. Where you eat the same soup over and over, then that's the soup diet. That's what you do. You lower your caloric intake. Every single one of them across the board in the history of humanity, always and forever will be lower caloric intake. And things happen. But this kind of gets a little bit bastardized because people are like, well, then I should be able to drink Coca-Cola all day, and as long as I'm below my macros, I'll be fine. It's like, get real, right? Within reason.
Like, some people's goal is to shed a bunch of weight in a little bit of time. Some people's goal is to be, like, start a new healthy lifestyle and, like, to kickstart it. So, like, juice cleanses, what about those? Like, I think in moderation, those could be beneficial. Like,
I have no problem with juicing. You want to juice, go for it. But juicing,
obviously.
The juice diet is fairly dangerous.
But you're introducing
a lot of levels.
Like new vegetables that you wouldn't necessarily eat before. You're introducing them into your body, and like it's beneficial.
Juicing is great. I don't think that going on a 100% juice diet for a month is a very good idea. No. People lose a lot of fat doing it, but you're putting your body through some pretty heavy stress. It's not exactly great for you. But what are some of the diet? What are some of the? You got a lot of listed here. What are some of the fad diets you got going? Skinny tea. Oh.
Well, there's the skinny teas. Basically, they're laxatives.
Really?
Basically.
Just make you poop a lot.
I think
that's one way to lose weight.
You're
not gonna lose any fat, but you're gonna poop a lot. That sounds awesome.
Basically, laxative and skinny tea. I don't know. I've heard some stories from friends that have tried it, and it was basically you get the picture. The
idea. So some of the tea and the coffee and the like anything that says raise your metabolism. One of the things that kind of gets in the way of that it's a sales pitch, right? It's all sales pitch. So you want to be a little bit careful. But when they say, oh, green tea is going to raise your metabolism, coffee is going to raise your metabolism, there's only really one way to significantly increase your metabolism to a point that will actually show some results. So they're marginal increase in metabolism with coffee, marginal with tea, marginal with high protein, marginal with certain spices. The only way to significantly change your metabolism is through activity. You got to increase your activity level. End of story.
Well, so a lot of these marketing strategies are to get you to buy a product too.
Yeah.
Like it in a roundabout way. Like they'll give you all this information, and then at the end they're like, oh, and here's the tea that would be great for this diet, or here is the shaker bottle that would go along with this diet. Like they're taking advantage of your desire to shed pounds quickly.
And I'm all for businesses making money, but at the it's such a there's some line in there where it's like the ethics and the morals are cut.
Well, they're giving you only the amount that they want to share. Like they're not giving that downside of they're not trying to sell you that. They're trying to sell you the good stuff.
What's the good stuff?
Well, the perks, like like, oh, you could lose 10 pounds in 2 weeks.
Well, you could lose 10 pounds in 2 weeks, but the only reason that those wraps or any of that stuff works is because
it works.
Like, if you put something on, you wrap yourself in saran wrap and then feel motivated. Oh, I got to go to the gym now because I put myself in saran wrap. Now I got to go to the gym. It's because you went to the gym, not because you wrapped yourself in saran wrap. If you drink this tea and then you're like, well, because I drank the tea, I've got to go to the gym. Because I drank the tea, I can't eat the pizza. It had nothing to do with the tea. It was because you didn't eat the pizza and you did go to the gym.
Well, in that way, though, they are kind of
a
good thing. They're getting you motivated. And like
I know, it just seems
it does set you up also for failure. Like it is setting you up for the disappointment as well. Like the high from like, oh yeah, I'm all pumped up and I got this tea and I got this powder and I got this wrap. Like I'm going to lose all this weight. And then you kind of lose a little bit of weight, but then you stop doing it and you gain it all back and you just feel like crap. Like that's not beneficial to your head space, like your mindset. It's telling you that, you did it, but you're worse off than you were before.
It messes with things, that's for sure.
But I mean, it does introduce new and different kinds of ways to. There's
like a weird motive that goes along with this, and I don't know really how to explain it. But I wish that people could find a better way besides, oh, I bought this tea, so now I've got to go work out. I wish they could just say, oh, I'm going to go work out. What else you got on there?
Excessively chewing.
What is excessively chewing? Well, you mean the 45-second or 1 minute of chewing for every bite?
Yeah, basically like digesting your food, but before you digest your food.
Chewing is part of the digestive process, but so this is a real diet that this got really popular probably about 10, 15 years ago actually, is that you chew your food for an elongated period of time, and the idea is that you eat less because you spend time with your food, which is actually a very good practice for kind of mindful eating, if that's what you want to call it, where you really are present with the food that you're experiencing the food in your mouth. But it still goes back to, you're going to eat less because you experience more of your food, because and I have to agree with this one on that level, that you should experience your food. The idea that, that saying, do you eat to live or do you live to eat? It's such a jackass thing to say. It's like both. It's not an either or, idiot. Yeah. It's both. You do live to eat, because the entire reason that you exist is to put more food in the tube. You have a big brain.
More food in the tube.
More food in the tube. You have arms and legs to put more food in there, but you also eat to live because you have to survive.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. But whatever. Okay, so.
Oh my God. People actually do this next one.
What? Tapeworms.
Seriously, people die of this. This is a very serious thing that people do. People are so desperate to lose weight that they will actually they'll order tapeworms online, and then they'll drink this liquid. They'll get infested with tapeworms, and the tapeworm is a parasite that will take away from their food that they're eating, and it actually takes away from them, and then in turn you end up losing weight. It's not eating the food that you eat; it's
eating you.
It's eating off of you, and then you have to eat more food to take care of the parasite, and eventually it'll kill you if you don't take care of it. Tapeworm's a very serious thing. It's a sick strategy.
I would think I'd need to be pretty desperate to do that.
People are desperate to lose weight, though.
I know, but to ingest a worm.
I know.
Yeah, just get into the willies.
The sad thing is that it'd work until you die.
Until you die.
Yeah. What's the next one?
So
let's get rid of the tapeworms.
Okay.
It's so gross.
So I just basically said, wait, what about the Penner test?
Penner test.
Do you know what that is?
No.
It's basically they take a blood sample.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is it's not like a diet, but they take your blood sample. It's like one of those 23andMe kind of companies.
I know what you're talking about.
They send it in and they find what foods are beneficial to your body.
Oh no!
Not all in today.
Not today.
They find out what foods are beneficial and what foods are not. Like, that give you what?
Nothing. I'm just laughing.
That give you like certain people have not allergic. They're not allergic. They can eat it, but it'll give them flare-ups of like acne or like flare-ups of like insomnia or feeling lethargic. Stuff like that.
Supposedly.
Yeah, like it's not good for your gut health. Certain things like that. Not that you're allergic at all, but it's just like, hey, if you see this in your food, maybe
I have to call placebo effect on that one. I've seen no research that would suggest that is actually a real thing. I think it's like applied kinesiology. They're just basically bullshitting you into buying their thing. I don't believe it at all. There's no solid evidence out there that I've ever seen that this exists. I don't know any highly qualified nutritionist or doctor of nutrition or person like practitioner that thinks that this is a good thing. I have looked into this extensively. I think it's all garbage. And anytime that it does work for somebody, I think that it's 100% based on placebo effect. But I also think most of these things are based on placebo effect. So.
Okay.
But yeah, people go a little bit wild with this. We've had people that say that they won't take a certain type of capsule because it was made from bovine, and they're not supposed to eat beef. And the little tiny little bit of bovine that is in that capsule that is going to dissolve is probably not going to be the thing that is going to cause you to have all these problems.
Yeah.
And I really think they're just kind of throwing crap out there to see what happens. I think it's garbage. I think the blood test diet is just ridiculous.
I mean, and then there's also placebo effects. Like, who knows?
Placebo effect, I think, is very real and should be used.
They're very effective.
That doctor just a few years ago, like 4 or 5 years ago, he got in trouble. He got in big trouble because I forget what it was, but it was like 98% of his prescriptions were placebo pills.
98%.
Yeah, it was like almost all the people that were on.
How did they find that out?
I don't remember, but it came out, and there's an article about it, and all of his patients were super pissed off, and he was like, well, did you get better? And they're like, yeah.
So he was trying to prove that method?
Yeah, he's like, well, did you get better? Then I don't get what the problem is. I personally love placebo effect. I think it's great. I think if people really believe.
What's another way to get off of medication?
Yeah.
Sometimes they just like the attention.
Yeah, I think a lot of people they're asking for a little attention and they get it and they're like, okay, well, yeah, I guess I do feel a lot better. And it's not calling them crazy. These aren't crazy people. These are normal people.
Like the balance band?
These glasses. I don't know. I think I almost call placebo effect on this, but I was having just absurd migraines. I mean, to the point I couldn't read a piece of paper. I'd have to kind of look over to the side of the piece of paper and kind of read just a little bit outside of my peripherals to be able to read the words on the page. And
that's because you were
I was having a migraine. But I was looking at a screen for 8 to 10 hours a day and then going to the gym and training people. And someone goes, well, maybe try these glasses that filter out the blue light that comes from the screen. And I put them on, and I've had one migraine since then, and it was when I was staring at a screen a lot without these on for a few days.
So you think that's placebo?
I don't know. It could be a placebo effect, or it could be really a real thing that there's like a ton of blue light, and this is filtering it out, and I don't get migraines anymore. But whatever, I don't care if it's placebo or not. I don't get migraines, so like I don't care. You know, if applied kinesiology is something that one of our really good friends, Dane, he couldn't eat anything when he was a kid. They thought he was allergic to everything. He'd just go and puke it up right afterwards. He was so sick, and they started there as a last-ditch effort. They were like, well, they took him to doctor after doctor after doctor, and as a last-ditch effort, they said, we'll try this applied kinesiology bullshit, and he would put the food, like bacon or ice cream or whatever, on his chest, and then he would hold his arm out like this, and his mom would push his arm down, and if he held, he could eat it. If his arm went down, then he didn't eat it. Literally, that's all they did.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, that's how they figured out what foods he could and couldn't eat. That is 100% bullshit. Unless your mind has.
Knew that was bullshit, right?
I think so, because they're both extremely educated people, very, very smart people, and so is he. But like, unless your mind has some kind of like crazy ability that we don't even understand, that we don't even know is a thing, that already knew that this type of food was going to make you just a little bit ill.
That's kind of out there.
Yeah. But like, there is no way that there's like some kind of spiritual connection between the ice cream and not puking.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, and applied kinesiology would make you believe that. So I think it's all placebo effect. What are some of the other ones?
Sodium cleanses, laxatives, low carb. Well, we already kind of talked about all these.
Yeah, low carb. Low carb is my favorite. It's pretty simple. You take away a carbohydrate. You have three types of places that you get calories. You get calories from protein, fat, and carbohydrates. Mm-hmm. Your body can produce its own carbohydrates, so you don't necessarily have to have carbohydrates in your diet. You have to have fat and you have to have protein, or you'll die. Literally, you have to have these two things in your diet. You don't have to have carbohydrates, so it's an easy one to remove. And then we also know that there's all these negative effects from diabetes, and that carbohydrates get turned into fat really easy in your body. So it's an easy one to point as a corporate. Everybody's fat because of carbohydrates, which really isn't totally accurate. But it's an easy one to pull out.
But are they still beneficial?
Low carb diets?
Well, no, like eating. What about all carb diet?
An all carb diet?
Yeah.
You mean like no protein, no fat?
Like in Mean Girls when she's like, I'm on an all carb diet.
Yeah, that's stupid. That's like the Oreo vegetarians. Some of my favorite people are Oreo vegetarians, or mac and cheese vegetarians.
Cheese vegetarian.
It's like, wait a minute.
Yeah, wait.
This doesn't add up.
You can't just eat your only favorite food.
Yeah.
I don't know.
People that, I have a thing against killing animals. I'm like, okay, great, that's cool. I can understand that. More power to you. And then they try to say that they're vegetarians for health reasons.
Okay.
Like, no, you're not, because you eat mac and cheese, and that's all you eat 100% of the time.
I also did have like the aspect of like your kids viewing you doing a bunch of diets and like them becoming like they see that, because I had this one friend, her mom was always on a diet, literally always. And I could see this like affecting her. She's like, oh, my mom is on this diet.
How did it, like, in what ways did it affect her?
Well, she wouldn't go beyond looking at just the health benefits of food by themselves. She would only look at food as, oh, this is not my diet. I can't eat this. You know what I mean? Like, it was... You
mean the little girl wouldn't eat certain foods because of
she
that?
wasn't like a little girl. Like, in junior high, I could see it. Like, this is how she thought that you were supposed to lose weight. Or this is how she thought that you were supposed to eat in moderation.
See, this is one of those really things that like really tugs at my heartstrings, is the idea that a little girl in junior high thinks she's got to lose weight.
Well, I mean, if you're watching your parent
be on
a diet for your whole life, then you kind of think that that's how it goes. That
it would be an easy deduction. How else? Like, you only get one roadmap, right? The one that you learned from your parents.
Yeah. But I mean, and probably like, not to speak bad about the mom, but it was like she thought that she was being healthy by doing these diets. Like, she was like, I'm picking healthier options for my family, but really, like,
that's a tough one.
She was trying to take these shortcut diets and feed them into her family's lifestyle as well.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it's not all around bad. Like, she could just be like, fuck it. Like, you kids eat what you want. Like, here's all the garbage, whatever. But she would try healthier options. But, like, you could tell it was, like, right around that period of, like, the 90s when it was like, oh, all these kids are getting kind of big. Like, we need to start doing, like, low-fat yogurt and no sugar whatever.
Diet.
Like, it was all this, like, kind of weird, sketchy diet food that you didn't know was
Nutri-Grain bars.
You didn't know if it was good or bad. It just tasted like crap. But, like, if you're trying to lose weight, then that's the option. That was the only option.
Yeah.
Like, you still want to eat what you usually eat, but now that it had this label on it, it was like the labeling. Like, in the 90s when all of a sudden you started seeing, like, labels say
no fat,
low fat, low carb.
Low carb came later.
It's basically the exact same label, except it says.
Well, actually, that's not.
Low sodium.
I'm inaccurate. It
whatever.
said like early 90s was no sugar, no sugar, no sugar. Late 90s was no fat, no fat, no fat.
Yeah.
Then early 2000s was like the low carb phase. Like Atkins kind of came out in like late 90s, early 2000s, which was just less sugar.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting where it's all gone so far. But.
So in a sense, they're thinking they're choosing the healthier option, but really, that's when it was being like the no sugar thing. It's like that's when they're putting the fake sugar in there. Like, it's not good sugar, and then they figure out, oh, fake suger has whatever.
It's still happening. I mean, like how many things do you see where they're like, no, this is sweetened with stevia, so it's okay. It's like, well, stevia is still an extract. We don't know. We have no idea. Yeah, like just because it's natural doesn't mean that it's good for you. Like, it's.
They're not looking beyond the label. They're just assuming.
Or logic.
Oh, this is a better option that we were having before, but really before you were using like better ingredients. You weren't using like the crap fillers.
Yeah.
Like the yogurt with the whole milk right now is the better option.
Yeah.
Not for like calorie wise, but like, would you rather be using natural ingredients, or would you rather be using fillers and fake sugar?
Yeah. You'd be better off having if you're going for health, or if you're going for fat loss, you'd be better off getting Haagen-Dazs that use real sugar.
I love
Haagen-Dazs. You're gonna eat ice cream, you might as well eat Haagen-Dazs. You might as well go for the good stuff and eat the real sugar, not the all like. Why would you buy? It's kind of like buying more of paying less for something you want less of. What would be the point? Why wouldn't you pay more for something that you want more of?
It's a justification then as well.
Yeah.
You think you can eat more of it because it has that label on it.
But it still sucked. It wasn't what you wanted in the first place.
So you're just going to crave the other stuff again and then feel like crap?
Yeah.
Because you binge on it?
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Actually, that does happen.
Totally happens.
To everybody, not just you and me.
We don't do that much.
I don't binge eat.
Yeah.
I try not to.
I binge eat.
On pizza.
I'm bulking. All right, guys, that's we're a little bit over time. Thanks for being here. Really appreciate it. Please slap the share button. Send this out to everybody that you know. Obscurity is Grit Gem's biggest obstacle right now. Please keep in mind, the more that you can affect you, the more that you can influence you, the more that you can better you, the better the world's going to be, the better everybody in your atmosphere is going to be, the better everything's going to be. You'll be a better service to all those that you care about, and you'll be better at all the things that make you great. This guy that or whatever is happening in Las Vegas, whatever all the people out there that are in this really sad space where they would be willing to go and do something like this, they had to be hurting deep on the inside. If they could have found a way to love them and find the joy of being their self, I think that you wouldn't see any more of this stuff, or I at least hope. And I like to believe in people, and I think that this is really shaking our, as a whole, I think people look at this and it would it's probably shaken everybody's faith in humanity. And I really like to believe in people. I think that people down deep are wonderful and amazing, even the worst of them. But they are riddled and have layers upon layers of bullshit that they're too afraid to walk through to see how amazing they are underneath all of that. And it's a sad time. So hopefully this, I don't know if this podcast show or whatever you want to call it can help somebody out there. But we did have somebody come in. I won't say her name on here, but she came in last night and she said, you sent out an email and it said, choose you. And then I listened to the podcast, and she's lost a bunch of weight and she's super smiley. And it means the world to me that happened. And I've said it a few times, but if I only affected one person that way, that's a win. That's a win for me. I think it'd probably be a win for Race too. But anyway, I hope that you can start to put you first in your life. That they're before everything, before your kids, before all your responsibilities, before your job, before everything. That you put you where you belong as your number one priority. So, with that said, you got anything for everybody? Or are you ready to sign off? You gonna keep on keeping on? All right, thanks for being here, guys. Really appreciate it.